not putting a cap here. So here are the benefits. Medical leave. If you have a serious ailment that prevents you from working, right? Major surgery, pregnancy, if there's an ailment that keeps you from working, to receive treatment for chronic health condition, to receive inpatient treatment for substance abuse or mental health. The amount of paid leave you can take is determined by your medical provider. So your doctor basically says they need this much time off, and then they tell the state you have to go to the state website and apply for this, right? And it's up to 12 weeks. Family leave includes bonding leave and military family leave. You can take paid time off. This again is in Washington State. You can take paid time off to care for a family member with a serious health condition, or if you're bonding with a new baby or child in your family. My son will be 35 in July. Can I bond with an old baby for like 4 weeks in Lake Tahoe? Military family leave allows you to spend time with a family member who is about to be deployed overseas or is returning from overseas deployment. You may use family leave to care for spouses and domestic workers, children, adopted, foster, and stepchild, parents and legal guardians or the spouse's parents, siblings, grandchildren, grandparents or spouse's grandparents, son-in-law and daughter-in-law, someone who has an expectation to rely on you for care, whether you live together or not. That's interesting. We may require documentation about your relationship and there. You must have worked 820 hours in your qualification. Let me ask, 16 hours a week, they say on the average. Okay. Well, let me, for a year. Yeah, I'm guessing, yeah, 16 hours. I've that up for a year. It sounds like that would be, yeah. Yes, I just looked at my head. So, is this required? Does everybody have to pay into this? Or is it just you can opt in or opt out? No, I believe it is required. Yeah. It would have to be. There's no way you can cover it. There's not. Yeah. And I even look. I want to see the math on this. Figured out the math. Certain workers are not automatically eligible for paid leave. They include, and these are people that are not automatically eligible. Federal employees, people employed by businesses located on tribal land, self-employed people who do not opt into the state program. That's interesting. Workers covered by a collective bargaining agreement that hasn't expired, been reopened or renegotiated since October 19th, 2017. You may not be eligible yet. Ask your employer or union representative if you are unsure that this applies to you. Again, this is in Washington State. Workers covered by their employer's approved voluntary plan. So if the employer has a plan, and I'm guessing it would have to be at least the same benefits or greater benefits through that voluntary program, and it has to be approved by the state. That employer has to get that approval by the state. So if you want to cover your workers in a different way, as long as the state says, yeah, but what we have a disability plan is not a family leave. No. The Family Medical Leave Act, if you look at that, that is unpaid. Unpaid, right. You know, it still is in effect, but that is unpaid. There are a lot of people that still believe that is paid, that have clearly never had to take it, but it is not paid. So, now, is it pay? Does it pay you your full salary? I don't believe so. No. Yeah. I just wonder what you get paid for. I mean, because you if you're paying in 0.5%, then the more you make, the more you pay in. Well, and I'll have to double check that. I mean, with short-term disability and long-term disability, what is it, 60%? 60%. Non-taxable. It's non-taxable. Is the family leave? How much will I get? Here we go. How much will I get? When you take paid leave, you can receive, this is from the paidleave.wa.gov, the Washington State website. When you take paid leave, you can receive up to 90% of your weekly pay, up to a maximum of $1,427 in 2023. A week? A week, yes. Use our calculator to find out about how much your pay would be if your leave starts in 2023. How much time do I get? I think we went over most of that. Up to 12 weeks of medical leave or family leave, up to 16 weeks of combined medical. I had a question about that. Of combined medical and family leave. Up to 18 weeks of combined medical and family leave if you experience a condition in pregnancy that results in incapacity, being put on bed rest, or having a C-section. Interesting. I just wonder if the premiums are going to cover. That was it. That's why I had to, because I'd seen the story where the governor signed it, and then I thought, okay, I wonder how they're going to pay for that. Well, I had heard that it is going to be employer-employee based, but it's really employee based. They're taxing you for it. And what's interesting is when you tax people for it, and they're keenly aware that that everybody knows they're being taxed, and by golly, you're going to use it, right? If the employer were paying for it, probably the same effect. Hey, my employer's paying for it. I don't care. I'm going to use it. But at 0.58% of the gross salary, your gross salary, is it going to cover everyone on the average? And that's my question, because everybody's going to take advantage of this. Now, if it's medical, your doctor has to say, okay, they need 2 weeks, they need 4 weeks. But if you're pregnant and like my daughter back in 2006 was pregnant with twins during a very hot Texas summer, and so it was bed rest for her a lot. Now, if you're ordered to bed rest, and that does happen, and you're pregnant, or if you have any condition where the doctor says they need to be out up to 12 weeks, then that's going to be paid 90% of your salary weekly. That's really interesting, and it's also every year. So my question would be, you take 12 weeks in the third quarter of this year, which pretty much is the third quarter of this year. Okay, so if you make $100,000 a year, it would be $580 a year. Yeah. And you're telling me that's going to go? Again, because if you can take it every year, well, if you make up to a maximum of $1,400, interesting to see. But if you're making $1,000, that's gone in 1 month. What you've actually paid in, right? Well, and there will be adjustments to the benefits, right? There will be people saying, well, look, we need this added. We need that added. We need more time approved for this situation or condition. And inevitably, the cost of medical care is going to go up. I mean, that's just a fact. And so, you know, when you look at then the cost of an employer not having that employee, as you mentioned, you know, especially with, even though they're not paying for it, even though with the worker shortage that we have today, I was thinking about that also. Yeah, they're going to be short that person or maybe a couple of people, you know, I mean, if it's two members of one family. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to watch, but I suspect the premiums will. 866-90-RED-EYE.
Surviving and thriving as an owner-operator has just as much to do with managing costs as it does with generating revenue. Understanding basic principles of operating costs can save you thousands of dollars a year. Costs are not the same each month. If 9,600 miles are driven one month and 10,000 miles the next, two different sets of costs apply for each month. For example, if your tractor payment is $1,850 per month and you drive 9,600 miles a month, your tractor payment is costing you 19.3 cents per mile. Drive 10,000 miles though, and that same payment will cost you 18.5 cents per mile. This is one of your major fixed costs while paying off a truck loan. The difference in this example is only a fraction of a cent, which may seem like small change, but it ultimately amounts to $960 more annually on the bottom line, because when fixed costs are not down over time, you can reduce your cost per mile with more payment off. Owner-operator business growth fund is provided by Sharpotella. Sharpotella, with advanced synthetic technology, is designed to help keep your rig running with more mileage and less maintenance.
Denny's is here to serve America's professional truck drivers, providing a hot, down-home meal on the go. Order ahead at Denny's.com today. Hours of participating restaurants may vary.
A little savings can go a long way. Purchase 3 gallons of Shell Rotella with advanced synthetic technology and receive up to $20 in digital gift cards. Hear that? Even your engine agrees that's a good deal. All right, settle down now. Shell Rotella for the long haul. Ends June 30th, 2023. Terms apply. See www.rotella.com/rewards for details. At Progressive Commercial, we want truckers to know we give a truck about trucker safety and about saving them a truckload on their insurance. We save truckers an average of $3,740 a year when they share their ELD data with us. Just for keeping it safe as truck out there. Get a quote in as little as 5 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Safe customers based on FMCSA inspections, traffic history, and other data for hire transportation. Not available in all states. Savings not guaranteed. Renewal driving data could increase or decrease premiums.
Red Eye Radio and our sponsors are devoted to trucking safety. That's why we're proud to bring you the Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club. We've been saluting drivers who have surpassed the million-mile mark with preventable, accident-free driving. By reaching this milestone, you can be a part of an elite club of drivers who share remarkable safety records and demonstrate superior driving skills. If you or someone you know is a truck driver with 1 million miles or more of driving under your belt without a preventable accident, register online at redeyeradioshow.com. That's redeyeradioshow.com. The Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club would not be possible without the generous support of the fine folks from Petrol Stopping Centers, House Lubricator, Motel 6, the St. Christopher Fund, and Cat Scale. We applaud the individual truckers and fleets who drive with care and keep our highways safe. The Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club, devoted to trucking safety. Register online at redeyeradioshow.com.
Hey, it's Randy, and let's talk about an upsetting issue. You're paying your homeowner's insurance premium every month like a clock. But one day you had an incident like water damage, broken pipe, toilet overflow. You open a claim with your homeowner's insurance company to find out that your insurance adjuster is trying to pay you so little that you won't be able to repair the damage. Then it's time to call Avner Gat. Avner Gat is looking out for you. Avner Gat is a public insurance adjuster who is on your side. Try to negotiate with the insurance company yourself, but you will find very quickly that it's not that simple. Avner Gat negotiates on your behalf to make sure that you are getting the best possible outcome, not the insurance company. No one messes around with Avner his team. So give Abner a call at 818-917-5256 or visit avnergat.com. That's AVNERGAT.com. Call him directly at 818-917-5256. You will be surprised Abner takes all the calls himself.
Are you feeling the urge to leave California? You're not alone. Over 800,000 people have fled the state in the past 2 years, making it the biggest exodus in California history. If you're wondering why so many are leaving, check out the new documentary, Leaving California, The Untold Story, produced by the Epoch Times. This 70-minute film reveals the 8 striking reasons that have turned millions of lives upside down in California and triggered this mass exodus. Whether you're planning to stay or go, this documentary is an absolute must-see. Thousands of people are already raving about it. Don't miss out. Visit leavingcalifornia.com to watch it now. That's leavingcalifornia.com. Your future in California could depend on it.
I'll say one thing about the program. They're not just throwing it into the general budget. They're saying, you know, this paid family leave, you got to pay for it. Yeah, it doesn't work. Nothing is free. Right. And we'll see whether it can actually cover the costs of. That's what I always have major doubts that whenever government comes up. Because I think it's been proven over and over again. It's the same thing with healthcare. That when Colorado, when California, when
watch out! Pothole on road ahead.
Vermont tried to do the healthcare on a state basis, well, people have to pay for it right now. Right. And no, in order to pass healthcare, what they want is to tax future generations for what we want today. Right, I don't want we said we. For what they want today, they want to tax future generations, which is why the Democrats are absolutely passionate about the fact that you have to have nationalized health care because you have to go into, you have to be doing debt servicing in order to not take everybody off. You can't pay for it all. And that's the problem now with the deficits. I mean, we've spent, you think about this, I mean, that's why it's humorous when you see that the Democrats now, Cory Bush, introduced $14 trillion reparations program for the federal government. I mean, these people are insane. But you think about it, with all the spending they've done over the last couple of years, and now the increased spending that is just a part of our budget, there's no way you're going to see any type of nationalized health care in this country even be promoted. That's all gone because we now see. Could you imagine if they did the $14 trillion? What inflation would be, right? Oh my God! Think about that, $14 trillion. What would inflation be if you did that? Oh, forget it.
ABC News at 11:30. I'm Sharon Reardon. Good evening. Some Senate Democrats are trying to get President Biden to use the 14th Amendment to raise the debt ceiling. They say the spending cuts House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is proposing are unacceptable. Biden has yet to consider the move, something that's never been done before and would most likely be challenged in court. Deutsche Bank is agreeing to pay $75 million to settle a lawsuit by women who accuse the German bank of facilitating Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking. Attorneys for the women confirmed the Manhattan federal court settlement today. Epstein was a Deutsche Bank client from 2013 to 2018. Locally, Metro's Finance Budget and Audit Committee